All right, welcome back. Living in San Diego. We haven't done a live for a while, so excited about this. We're going to dive into what is happening right now in the San Diego real estate market, and is there a major shift happening? Because if you guys have watched our channel, a lot of the clients we've helped over these past few years have been during the hectic times of 2021, 2022, parts of 2023, when it was a little bit more of a frenzied. And we're here sharing neighborhoods, what's happening, but we don't dive into what's happening in the market as a whole until we jump on a Zoom call with somebody and kind of dive into their specific situation. So things are shifting. So we thought it was important to let you guys know what's actually happening in the market. And, at the end, if you guys have questions, hit us up. But we'll be answering a bunch of questions throughout and hopefully get your questions answered. But the very first thing that we are going to jump into is realtors say San Diego home prices dip again in October. So in San Diego County, closed escrow sales of existing single family homes, however, rose. So home sales rose across San Diego County. So we're seeing a little bit more home sales. And I'll show you the chart kind of compared to where we were last year, where we were even in the Great Recession or the GFC, the Great Financial Crisis. And kind of compared to where we were, because we have seen super low inventory. Inventory is just realtor talk, the number of homes on the market and where we have been. So let me make this a little bit bigger for you. So anyways, home sales rose across San Diego County and the state as a whole last month. So when we're comparing that to years past, you're going to see a big difference here. As we look up, let me zoom us in. All right, it's not going to get too much bigger than that. But as we zoom in here, so right now, October 31, 2025, there were 2,287 homes sold. If we look at the year before, it was 2,100, so a little bit less. And then we look into 2023, only just shy of 2,000, and going back and back. So anyways, if you look at the end of this chart over here, the number of home sales, how low it's been compared to where we have been in years past, even going back to 2008 and 2009, just coming out of the, home prices are crashing during this time. 2010 was in October, we saw just shy of 2,400. So we saw 2,448 homes in October. And look where we are right now. We're below that. So we have just seen a huge drop off in the number of home sales. Now, as a seller, if you guys are watching this as a seller, are homes selling? Absolutely. But as a buyer, over these past few years, we just haven't seen as many homes come on the market. And now, like 2022 and 2023, when we had, let me zoom in here, 2022 and 2023. So when we had 2,200 homes, just shy of 2,000 homes. Now that was crazy, right? We're not much above that, but the market is so much different now. Back then, competition was crazy. Cassie, how was competition back then?
It was nuts, like on every single transaction. And that, I think, or on every single home that came on the market, where I think that's the big shift now is we're not seeing that frenzy, especially if the house isn't completely dialed in, the condition's not perfect. We're just not seeing that level of activity on pretty much anything. I mean, every now and then we are seeing 2 or 3 offers on a property, but I mean, it was consistent during that time. There were, if you had less than 12 offers, it was crazy.
Yeah. During this time, less homes, but also a ton more buyers. So this was pushing the price way up. So why have prices come down a little bit, even though we have just about the same amount of homes sold? So the same amount of demand out there. We just haven't seen, maybe homes are getting 1 offer. Maybe they're getting 2 offers. We're not seeing 15, 20 offers that shot up the price. So we'll get into all the stats in a little bit and let you know, how close homes are going to list price right now and all that kind of stuff. But as of now, yes, home prices did dip a little bit, even with a little bit more sales than we had in the past. So with the statewide sales figure reaching its highest level since February, the California Association of Realtors announced on Tuesday that prices dipped again last month. So the median sales price of an existing single family home in San Diego County was $985,000 last month. So it was down 0.5% from September and down 2.5% from last year. Now you're thinking, you're relocating out to San Diego, you're like, okay, well, wherever you're coming from. I mean, I guess it really depends. We help a lot of people in this price point. We help a lot of people in a higher price point. So we've helped people below this price point. It just really depends on where you're coming from and what your situation is. Is $985 a lot? But a lot of people who are looking at homes in San Diego County be like, wow, that is quite a bit. In a minute, I'll show you actually what that gets you right here in San Diego, kind of give you an idea of actually what's on the market. But I mean, yeah, it's been coming down just a tick, like still near that $1 million mark, but definitely not where we have been. Let me just bring up a chart real quick and show you where prices were, or just kind of the trend of what was happening with prices over these past few years. Let's see here. This will probably that's year over year. Sorry, it's not up on screen right now, but I will bring it up in a sec.
Just a note on that too, just we've felt it over the last year also, kind of that price crunch. We've seen more price reductions this year. I don't know if we have stats on that, but I know we've seen more price reductions this year than I can remember. And we've been in this business a long time now. When we were first in it, it was definitely a buyer's market, and you saw some price reductions, but not at the level that we're at right now. It's a lot.
It is quite a bit. Yeah. I do have those numbers, which I'll bring up here in a little bit, but let me see right in here. So here is a typical single family home value in San Diego. You can see we were rising until it started crashing in 2006, came down. And since 2012 on, we've seen a steady rise. Then we got 2020. We saw this jump up quite a bit, come down a little bit in 22. Right here in 2022, why did it dip? Because interest rates shot up super quick. They were at like 3%, 4%. Everybody rushed in the market. And then towards the end of that year, the market, they got up to 6, 7, 8%. So it was much lower demand out there. And a lot of people took their homes off the market. Prices did dip a little bit. And then since then we went up again, and now we've just been trending sideways. So compare this to last October where it was over $1 million. Now we're sitting about $985,000. So it's quite the difference than we did have, where the trajectory of pricing. So Cassie, give me an idea of what pricing was like. Let's say a home came on the market in 2021. It was listed at $1 million in, whatever, let's just call it San Marcos or something. How was the competition? Where did that price end up? And then kind of what are we seeing right now as far as, example of what we're seeing today?
So, I mean, easily 10 to 15 offers. I mean, some of them even more.
This is in 2021.
Yeah. Back in 2021. So a lot of offers, and in most cases, it was going for at least 100,000 over list price. And that's not even taking into consideration some of the list price were already a little bit high. Yeah. Just because everybody was like compounding listing to listing. It was your one house would sell for one, and then when the next one would sell for 125, and then all of a sudden, like the houses. I mean, they increased in price so quickly that like appraisers were having trouble appraising them. Yeah. And we saw that a bunch then too. But like seeing houses go for 100,000 over list was every single home pretty much. We saw some go for 250 over list. I don't remember what, I say luckily now because our clients would probably be underwater if they had reached for some of the heights that some of these went. And luckily our clients in some cases didn't get the houses just because of where they went. But I mean, we had one in San Alejo that went for, I think, 350 over list price, right? Was that the highest?
Correct. Yep. A lot of all cash, a lot of waived contingencies, a lot of maybe no inspections as is.
Yeah.
Now we could take a little bit of a breath because we're definitely not there compared to where we were. So let's jump into, I'll show you guys real quick where we are in the market as a whole. So we like to see this gauge here. This is like, how's the market action index. And you can see even right now, like even though there is a shift happening in the market, it's just a slight seller's advantage. And it's going by neighborhood to neighborhood, house to house, price point to price point, as far as like what exactly is happening. Because sometimes in like we had a home that was in like the $2 million plus price point, and it took quite a while to sell. And then we have a few buyers out there who are looking in that. We just closed one, and they were in like the mid 1.14 range, and that got multiple offers, not a ton, like 2 or 3 offers. We were one of them, had to beat out a few, and it didn't go above list price. It went actually right at list price. So, yeah. And so there is still competition on certain prices, certain areas, certain neighborhoods, but definitely buyers out there, you get a little bit of breathing room, which is awesome. But the market action index, as we jump under this 30 number, which we haven't seen in, I don't know, a long time, especially here in San Diego, even in a slight sell, it's kind of always seems like it's a slight seller's advantage market because there's always demand. It does slow down, but we don't really, in the past, we haven't seen it really be a buyer's market for quite a while. So anyways, just a slight seller's advantage. During the pandemic, during kind of the craziness, during the frenzy, let me show you real quick where this went up to. You can see peaked out at 100. A lot of times in 2022, we got, up to that 100 mark. That's just like pedal to the metal.
Yeah.
It was all the way here. No, now we're well down. We were way down here. You can see it's been trending down over these past few years, a little bit lower than last year, a little bit lower than the year before. Like I said, 2022 this time, you can see the big drop off. That was interest rates. We'll get into interest rates here in a little bit too and show you what's going on. But yeah, it was quite different. And then the other thing was, would you want to see price decrease?
Yeah.
So here, these are active properties. So it's not showing us homes that have sold that had a price decrease. We're just looking at active properties. And right now we're sitting about 34% of homes have had a price reduction. So
yeah,
there's still a little bit of stubbornness with sellers out there where they're not necessarily, dropping their price. Maybe they're sticking to their guns a little bit longer. But we are still higher than last year, the previous year. Once again, 2022, kind of funky. But when we go back here, like look in February 2022, barely any houses had a price reduction.
Mm-hmm.
It was quite different. So anyways, going to the theme, the market has definitely shifted. But they mentioned right here, so $985,000. What does that actually get you right here in San Diego? A lot of our videos, we're just showing neighborhoods, and sometimes we might mention prices and stuff, but it's like, it changes, especially back when we were, 2 years ago. It was like, couldn't really say prices because it was changing so quickly. Now we're giving ballparks, what's happening, hey, we'll say, hey, right now we're in, March of 2025. Here's what's happening with prices. But if you guys need something, whenever you decide to move out here, reach out because prices could be quite different. But, oh my gosh, can you hear that? My phone is just ringing. I need to turn that down, but
couldn't hear it.
Okay, good. It was ringing quite loud on this side.
I remember our old broker talking about this prices increasing so quickly. I just remember our old broker saying, like, if somebody asked, like, where can you buy a house in Encinitas for $1 million, and he would say 5 years ago.
Yeah,
not where, not actually where, but.
All right, so here's some houses in areas where, and like I said, if you guys have questions while we're going through this, just drop them down below and we will get those answered for you. Whether it be area, we're going to cover the map a little bit, some new developments and stuff happening as we go on. We'll get into actually a little bit more market data and some important things that we're keeping an eye on. We'll give you some resources if you are thinking about moving out here. But just wanted to bring up what's here. Here's some right now I have it set from $950 to $1 million. There's all kinds of different price points in San Diego, but you'll see there's a big gap right here in kind of those coastal zones. You don't really get a ton of coastal until you get maybe a little bit further south. There was some down in Imperial Beach in that price point, but a few up in Oceanside. But as far as under that $1 million mark, obviously this isn't all of them popping up too. These are just like a good sampling, but you're going to find a handful, especially as you go into like Rancho Bernardo. Some of these are like 55 plus, but you'll find some over there. Carmel Mountain Ranch over here down in Scripps. Let's check out this property right here and see where we're at. So 3-bed, 2.5 bath, 1,300 square foot. It looks like it's one of the detached condo styles, but Yeah, so where you kind of share the
Shared
driveway.
Yeah.
And that's kind of one of the styles we do have here, especially with certain neighborhoods, certain areas where you do have, it's going to be classified potentially as a single family home. Maybe it's still, some of these are classified as condos, which isn't a huge deal. It's just kind of, how it's in the tax record might affect your home insurance a little bit. But this one is definitely under $1 million. You're not sharing any walls. You do have a little bit smaller backyard over there, but it looks like it's pretty nice and fixed up. And you're going to get just over that 1,300 square foot mark. And then as we go around a little bit, so as you go out a little bit further in Poway, and we just did, what was our video we just did in Poway? What was that one?
We did Scripps Ranch. Which one?
Scripps Ranch. Poway? We did a pros and cons recently of Poway. I think, yeah, that was one of our recent ones. So if you guys want to dig into that, just go check that out. But so here we are in Poway, 3-bed, 2-bath. Let's just jump into a few pictures. A little single-story home. You get some vaulted ceilings. You can see it does have, I think that had some popcorn ceilings a little bit, which you see a lot here in San Diego over here, where you could have, some of that kind of old school. A lot of people just come in and scrape those and, put like a kind of a, what's it called? Not drop ceiling, what kind of plaster is that called?
Just a smooth finish.
Smooth finish. There we go. It's got a name. It's got a name. But anyways,
like orange peel or but smooth. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, a knockdown. There we go. That's what it's called.
Oh, knockdown. Yeah.
So you got a little bit decent backyard here. You can see these are a little bit older school homes. We help some clients not in this exact area of Poway, but a little bit further. And it was probably 2 years ago now. It was well under that $1 million mark, and you can see prices went up a little bit and they started to come back down a little bit. So we do have some like out in Tierra Santa over here, where you're getting a 2-bed, 2.5-bath, 1,700 square foot for right around that price point. Garages, all that kind of stuff. So if you're looking at condos, there's plenty of spots, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have some clients looking right now in condos in North County, San Diego, and especially right now as we're getting toward November, there's less buyers out there. But if you guys are looking and you're like, okay, I'm not moving in November, December, what's going to happen next year? We'll get into that in a little bit as well. All right, let's jump into actually a little bit more of what's happening right here in San Diego. Give you a quick little rundown, and let me grab some water real quick. But Cassie, tell them what's happening just with some clients that we're seeing right now.
So, I mean, just activity level out there for our buyers. There's not, like you said, it's not a ton of competition out there. So, and this does tend to be our slower time, like going into Thanksgiving, going into the holidays. It does tend to be a little bit quieter. I just had a meeting the other day just talking about like when the best time to buy is, and there's not really a best time to buy in San Diego. It's always a good idea, but
real quick on that, I did just make a video on our other channel. So we have another channel and we do these kind of market updates and we do weekly stuff. And actually the best week to buy is like the first 2 weeks in October, if you're looking at like all the numbers. So there is a best time, but honestly, it's really when you guys are thinking about buying. Nobody's like timing it for that week. That's just when you get the most negotiating power, you get the most homes it's like a good mix of the most homes plus the best pricing. But
yeah, well, and that's the big thing too. Like October, November, December, January tend to be the time where you have the most negotiating power. There's the least amount of buyers out, so not very much competition. So I always just say that this time, fall and winter. We don't have much of a fall and winter here, but
we did. We were out filming today and we saw some leaves falling. So
that's true.
We got rain coming today. So you guys, it's not always sunny in San Diego.
That's right. But this tends to be the time of year where our clients can get a deal, as opposed to when our normal market comes March, April, May, June, a little bit of July. Tend to be the time when there's going to be more competition. There's more people looking to move. There's going to be more to choose from in that time frame. There's way less to choose from in the fall and in the holidays, but there's going to be more people out looking too. So that's just kind of our normal, how our market kind of goes under normal circumstances. I feel like it has gotten back to that a little bit the last year, where 2021 and 2022 just ignored that normal kind of cadence that we have.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and drop us some questions if you guys have anything that you want to know. Just let us know. But we'll dive back into what's going on in our market here. Okay, so I'm not going to go through all the stats here because I'll bore you. But this is going to paint the picture of what we're seeing right now, what's potentially going to happen in the new year. And there's a few things that have a lot of influence on that, including what happens with the markets as a whole. Are we jumping into a recession? How's the job market? Where are mortgage rates? So all those things, we're not going to act like we know what's going to happen, but obviously we're keeping an eye on all that stuff and kind of keep an eye on conditions and what's going on. And predictions, we've had predictions, we've made predictions, but really,
I think our predictions keep being that we see more inventory coming, and as you can see, it hasn't really panned out.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the story. We're looking at top lines 2022. They're not in order, so you can see what the little chart over here. But 2025, 2024. So the last 4 years, right in here. And 2022, we had the most new listings, a lot of sellers, but plenty of buyers to eat all that inventory up. So all those homes that came on, they sold super quick. Right now, we are at 480 and trending down. This is what's going to happen the latter part of every year. New listings are going to drop as we go into the new year. You're going to see this rise. Now, it'd be ideal, especially for buyers, if you guys are relocating, as we see kind of more homes coming on in this time frame as we get into February, March, April, May. That's when we see a lot of movement out here. That's when we see the most amount of homes on the market. That's when we see the most buyers as well. But it's this year kind of offset the amount of buyers to the amount of homes on the market. So we didn't see that huge jump up in prices. We had some sort of a balance. It all comes down to how many homes, how many people looking for homes. Pending sales is a good indicator of how many buyers are in the market right now compared to years past. Right now, we have almost 10% down compared to last year. Now, we were trending kind of sideways with this year and started dropping just over these past few. So few less buyers right now. But once again, you'll see that jump up towards the beginning of the year, and we'll keep you informed on what's happening right here. Are we going to see a ton more pending sales? If we see a lot more pending sales, not a lot of new listings, then that's going to bring you back competition. And this is one of the more interesting ones that I've been keeping an eye on. I keep saying there's less buyers out there, but here's the off market in 2 weeks. And so it's given us a snapshot of how many homes went off the market in 2 weeks. Right now, for the last, this is a 4 week moving out, or 4 week average right here. So from the end of October through where we are right now, nearly 39% of homes came off the market in 2 weeks. So we're like, yeah, there's less competition. There's less buyers out there. Now's a good time because there's less people looking. But since right over here in the end of June, early July, it started going up, which is pretty abnormal. Typically, we'd see it jump up like we do at the beginning of the year, and then just kind of slowly, maybe, trend sideways a little bit, maybe go up. But as we go towards the end of the year, start going down because, like I said, less competition. But for some reason, this keeps going up where we're 5.5% above last year. So if this goes up, I don't know. It's just going to be interesting to keep eye on this as we go into the next, January, February, March, and into 2026. So it'll be a good one to keep eye on. It's kind of like it's bucking the trend. It's one thing that we're like, yeah, there are less buyers. We're seeing it out there with our buyers. We're seeing it out there with our sellers, but still there's more homes going off the market in those first 2 weeks. So one other big thing right here is the average sale to list price. So how much are homes going above? How much are homes going below the listing price? Like $1 million home, is it going well above $1 million? Is it going well below $1 million? Well, right now we are at like almost 99%. So as a whole, this is all San Diego County, right? So some areas like are 90, like I just ran it and it was like the luxury market. So like Rancho Santa Fe, like $6 million and plus, 6 million and plus was like 92%. Then that $2 to $6 million range was like 95%. 95, 96%. And then the rest of it was around 98, 99%. So depends on what market you're actually looking in. But so let's just say $1 million home is going for $987,430 if we're getting super exact.
Wow.
But
yeah.
that's that's on average. We still there are some, like you've seen some, right, Cassie, are still going over, but it's just not the same as before.
No, yeah, it's like 5 or 10 grand over as opposed to 100 to 150 grand over.
And a lot of that comes go ahead.
I was just gonna say there are outliers always in all of this. It depends on some agents tend to list price or have their clients list their houses really low in an effort to get above list price.
Yeah, that's what I've seen. Like that's a big strategy right now is listing it below comps, listing it below the last sales, even like well below, getting a lot of demand, bringing that listing price up, which, obviously if you do
it's
that.
Almost like the bidding style.
Yep, it is. And then if you just compare it to where we were in 2022 at the peak, almost 106%. So why is that? More buyers, more competition, competing for the same house, driving that price up. And there you go. Then you get that 106%. And that's, once again, average. Most everything was going for list, if not well above. Now, some of those homes that are maybe a little less desirable, maybe need a little bit of work, maybe in funky areas, maybe by a main road, maybe, kind of just odd locations. Power lines, et cetera. Those are the homes that are sitting a little bit longer. A lot of that's when we're chatting with clients too. We're like, what's up with this home? What can you tell me? Oh, well, this road is a main road. So, I mean, it's really up to you if you don't mind the noise, but it's also, we always tell them, for resale, it usually is going to take longer to sell. It's not going to appreciate as quick. And it's just going to, like I said, in a time when the market's a little more normalized, it's just not going to perform as like a dialed in home in a great location that doesn't have any of those weird little I don't know,
quirks
ticks going on, little quirks. Little quirks going on.
It's kind of always just think about it as like, is your buyer pool growing or shrinking based on some of those variables? So like, is it on a main road? So your buyer pool goes down a little bit because you have a certain amount of people that don't want noise. Just keeping those things taking those things into consideration just kind of helps keep your value if you are buying. If like Chris said, like even if you're not, opposed to buying a house with road noise, it is always going to be tougher to sell on the other side. So just keeping that in mind. Yeah.
If it's your forever home,
who cares? Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Like get it for what you can. You're going to mortgage it for, I mean, obviously it's always important. The price is important, but if you're like, like we just had some clients and it's going to be their forever home. They're like, we want that house. They didn't overpay still. We got them in, but they're just like, there's little things here and there, but like, hey, we're going to be here for a long time. So it's not the end of the world. Okay. One of the last things I'll show on this is median days on market. So days on market, how long are homes taking to sell, right? Right now, the median is just close to 40, which, we'll see that go up at the end of the year. Part of that due to less competition, part of it due to seasonality, where we are right now. At the peak of this year, we're at 22 days on the market. But if you guys are thinking about moving out here and you're like, time is always of the essence, but like when we help clients get out here, we're kind of setting up the plan and figuring out, okay, how's the market moving? Well, back in this time, let's see what median days were, 8.5, just 8 days, and that's with negotiating time and all that kind of stuff. So back in 2022, it was, we need to go see it right now. We need to potentially write an offer like, yesterday, if not tonight. They might be reviewing, they might accept tonight. We've gotten a few things where, we're putting together deals like late night, and it was like exhausting, fun, but also glad we're not in there anymore. So
I had a talk with an agent the other day where I could tell she just had a little PTSD from 2022 and 2023 or 2021, 2022. she's like, so I told my client that I'm probably not going to be able to write it tonight because she had something going on with family or something like that. And she's like, is that going to be okay? I'm like, yeah, it'll be fine.
Yep, we'll be
Tomorrow
all right.
morning's perfectly fine.
We should be all right.
Yeah, but back, like you said, it was drop everything and write an offer.
Yeah.
So that's a big difference.
But this is good for all you buyers out there. This is a little bit more healthy market. You have some time. Like, even though people had to make quick decisions, maybe you got 15 minutes to see a house. Open houses were wild. It was just a horrible experience right now. And I'm assuming this is going to go into next year too. It's going to be a little more calm unless rates drop. We'll show you rates here in a little bit where they are, but unless rates drop like crazy amount and a ton of more buyers pile into the market, and not, we see even less homes come on the market, which is possible. All those things could happen, but with the trend that we're seeing right now, and if we saw a repeat of lower homes, lower buyers, we're still going to see breathing time for buyers. You get a little bit of decision making. Maybe goes back and see the home again before writing the offer.
Just did that yesterday.
Yeah. There you go. So it's like, I like the home. Saw it maybe not even the first weekend. Saw it the second weekend. Let's go back on a Wednesday, check it out, see if we like it, kind of get a feel for it. It's the decision making timeline has been extended for sure, which is for all you buyers out there, fantastic. And for us too, it's not bad. So, and we'll see this continue to go up through the end of the year. I'm interested to see where, if days on market continues to go up. We're telling our sellers through each neighborhood how long things are taking to sell. Some are longer than this, some are shorter than this, but it really comes down to the specific house. And a lot, like some of the competition we see on homes right now is like those homes that are in those good locations, but also either like we've seen a lot of flips. Those actually usually go pretty quick, unless it's kind of hit or miss. Some of the flips, they need to make their money back, so they kind of price them a little bit higher. But there is still demand because people are like, I want a new home. I want to move in and not do anything. So some of those are still seeing a little bit of competition. And then active listings, we were real healthy. We're above all of these previous years. So that's kind of part of the reason why prices had dropped too, because we did see less sales, but more homes, but we're kind of coming back to where we were. So active listings were like 5,900 in all of San Diego County for the last 4 weeks. And last year, 2024, we're at 5,600-ish. So just about 300 more there. But if you guys are thinking about moving out here, here is our relocation guide. So it's got everything. It's got neighborhoods. It's got explanations on climates. It covers a lot of stuff that we cover on our YouTube channel as well. So it's got everything you need. But Cassie, did I tell you to drop this in there, or am I dropping this in there?
Yeah, but I'm trying to figure out how to, and I don't.
Okay, I'll drop it in there.
Okay.
But yeah, it is. It's kind of everything you need. It's like San Diego 101. Where are the areas? Where is North County? Where is South County? Where is all this other stuff that we mentioned on our channel. But you guys can just go to. I'll pop it up here in a sec. If you do want it, you could just do that. It's also in the link in the description right below. So if you don't want to copy this, I know it's kind of a long URL, but you could just copy this or shoot us a text. You guys have our numbers from our YouTube channel, and we'll send this to you too. But anyways, in here too, there's a page on where to live, and it's got all these like Vistas, Oceansides, Carlsbad, San Marcos, etc. All these, if you click on these, it will bring you to our local area guides too, which you have access to. It's going to give you like main neighborhoods. It's going to give you spots to go check out. It's going to give you coffee shops, parks, maybe a brewery, all that kind of stuff. So anyways, go grab that. Start the conversation.
It's like
if you guys aren't ready to give us a
tour.
buzz. Self-guided tour. Yeah. And if you want a full tour, hit us up. But any questions so far, just drop them in right down below. I'm going to hop into the map real quick. Actually, let's get into where mortgage rates are real quick. And then if you guys want specific areas or anything, let us know. We'll dive into what's going on in that area, what's happening, what we're seeing. How do I get this off? There we go. Okay. So 30-year fixed rate mortgage. There's a lot on here. So I'm just going to take these two off. We're just going to go with the Mortgage News Daily. They're taking average every single day. The other two are averages like weekly or beyond, but 6.36. So it is relatively, I mean, lower than it has been, but compared to 2 years ago, 3 years ago, rather, what are we in 2020? Yeah, 2020, before it shot up, it's relatively high. So we did see it drop down to 6.13 2 times this year, where we got down right here and then shot back up, and we've just been trending sideways. But anytime we've seen it drop under the 6.5 right here, it has picked up in demand as far as kind of what's going on in the market. We see a few more buyers come out
See a
as
few
it
more
gets
sellers
above
go up
7.
too.
A few more
Yeah.
sellers. Yeah, I think that's one of the big things too that a lot of people don't think about. Is you want to tell them about kind of why that would be for sellers, Cass?
Yeah, I mean, just there's so many people in our marketplace that have an interest rate that's 3%, 2.75, 3.25. So unless there's like a real reason to move, like you're getting relocated for work, you're moving out of state for family reasons, any of the like the must move scenarios, those are the people that we're seeing sell right now. The people we aren't seeing as much or as often are the people that are the move ups, like a move up buyer, somebody that bought in 2021 and has that killer interest rate. There's just no motivation, and financially, that's just such a big difference between 2.75% or 3% interest rate and 6.25.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big reason.
Yeah, it's kind of they're locked in. Why am I going to move if I can just stay here for basically? I mean, yeah, for a lot less. Half price, yeah.
Well, especially for
move.
move up, like if you're, say you bought $1 million start, that is kind of our starting price point for a detached house in San Diego, is that $1 million mark. Having a mortgage that's 3% on $1 million house, and then you're going to move up to maybe that 1.4, 1.6 million and be paying 6.25. It's a big number to change your mortgage.
It is. And one thing on top of that, let's just talk more expenses, is one thing we've seen a lot of here in San Diego is wildfire risk. So I don't have that map up right now, but as few of the big insurers have left California, or some have just stopped issuing new policies, we've seen interest or insurance rates go up. So we have seen it in high fire zone. So where is a high fire zone? I'm not going to show you exact because I don't know where their maps are. They're using their own maps. We could even look on Cal Fire maps, but it's not going to give us a good indicator of. I mean, it'll give us a good indicator, but it could be potentially completely different from where your zone is, just because, like I said, they use their own. I'm trying to bring up the map right now. Let's see if it'll come up. Let's see, San Diego. Yeah. No,
I mean, you can see it in that map just looking at how much open space there is. All of the neighborhoods that butt right up to that open space is going to be high fire. It just depends how many blocks over or how many houses over you kind of go into the lesser fire zones.
Yeah, and it's weird.
If you're right up against Canyon, it's going to be high fire.
Yeah, so any big open spaces, especially as you get this is San Alejo Hills up here, a lot of these areas, even some areas, some on the backside, Discovery Hills. When you get out to, there's a new development potentially being, here's Harmony Grove out here, or Harmony Grove Village. And that our next video, that might make a little appearance on there, but there's a new development potentially coming down here, but they are fighting it. Not necessarily, well, maybe them too, but there's only Harmony Grove going out, Harmony Grove here. They're going to add another road, but potential fire risk, or evacuation risk, right?
Evacuation risk, yeah.
But just for a few, okay, how much has it changed? Well, I'll give you this example. So we had a client who, they were actually the seller, and we were over in Carlsbad. They were right on a ridge, not even on the ridge. They were a few houses in, but it was on top of a hill. Ended up being in a high fire zone. Their insurance, they've lived there for a while. Their insurance was, what was it, 20 or about $3,000 or so?
Yep.
about $3,000. And the new buyers came in, got their insurance quotes. Ended up, there's one thing called the California Fair Plan, where it's an insurer of last resort and they insure anybody, but obviously the cost is going to be more. I think that was like $6,000-ish, 5,800, $6,000, somewhere in there. This is for a year, right? It's not for just for a month,
annually.
But so it about doubled, right? And it's not a matter of can you get insurance usually, unless there's some condo complexes, etc. We have stories about that. If you guys want to know those, just reach out. But it's kind of like, okay, what's the actual price going to be? But yeah, you can see in San Diego, there's a lot of these open spaces, you know, especially as you go to the east. You would think Rancho Santa Fe, maybe not. But once you get in here, there's a ton of trees, ton of eucalyptus trees, a ton of,
even on people's, it's not even open space, it's just people's lots.
Yeah.
Are heavily, I want to say forested, but that seems like the wrong word.
Heavily forested, yes. Definitely, once you get out here into Mission Trails, like this whole area, Tierra Santas, some areas at Santee, San Carlos, etc. Yeah, definitely check. If you're looking at specific areas, like I said, it's not like a deal breaker usually. It's just like, okay, well, what's that going to be? So anyways, just wanted to give you a heads up on that. All right, now a few new spots popping up here. Right here in the north here. Oceanside has seen a ton of new stuff going on, but drop us some comments below if you guys want us to hit a specific area, let you know what's going on. But up here is Ocean Camp is being built out. Where'd it go here? It is right over here. And so they got it. They have it. They've been working on it for quite a while. And it's where the old swap meet used to be out here. And it was, let me see if I could bring it up, but it was, it's a new development. It's been in the works for, I don't know how long, dude. How long has it been in, Cassie?
A couple years, yeah, a few years.
Yeah.
A few years, actually.
Yeah. And so it's been in the works for a long time, but they finally got approval. And it's supposed to be like this huge resort. The big plans are like resort, wave pool, hotels, like a huge thing. But as of right now, the project advanced with 571 new homes. So it's right now, it's just a new community. The developer behind a major mixed-use project is moving forward with plans to build hundreds of homes next to State Route 76, where we just were. It did get approved for 511 market rate, 60 affordable units on the eastern parcels. It's a huge site, but the site's a prime location for a residential development adjacent to the future commercial development within Ocean Camp, as well as other community facilities, shopping centers, regional appeal to its site's excellent visibility and access to the major freeways to the 76 right there. But when the project was first approved, it was supposed to have 700 homes, a 300-room hotel, retail shops, a wave lagoon, but they just, as with any new development here, they're going to get lawsuits and, you know, don't build that here kind of thing, which is part of the reason why our housing prices kind of stay high. There's just not a ton of new construction. But after settling the lawsuit, local environment nonprofit, the project was reduced to 667 homes. It's all electric. But the project also proposes private open space amenities, a dog park, rec area, trail network, 2 mobility hubs. But all that has not been approved yet. So they are going to continue. But I think if this does get done, it's going to be cool. I mean, inland surf pool. Yeah. I mean, the ocean's what, 10 minutes away, but I don't know. I think it would still be kind of fun.
A consistent break.
A consistent break. No sharks. And then if you go a little bit further inland, you're going to find North River Farms. Now, right here, it looks like it's just being graded, but we were out there actually showing some clients who are thinking about moving out here, and it's much more built out than this. It's even more built out than this. I think right in this section is where they have their sales office. And so this is all right here. But this is one of the bigger construction projects right here in North County, San Diego. These homes are actually pretty cool. Different styles, they have different styles, different floor plans, different little communities. I believe there's 4 different communities out here. It's on this side of North River and then over on this side as well. They do have this, which was supposed to be like a farmer's market type thing, but they apparently haven't leased it out according to the sales office. So they still have some work to do out there. But anyways, it's a big development. You can see it's phase one. It's going in 5 phases. So they're finishing up phase one. They had a lot of pre-sales already and starting to work their way around. So once phase one's done, they start moving their way around, et cetera, et cetera. So anyways, it's kind of out there. You would think like Oceanside, you know, you have Arrowwood over here. But when you're looking at the area, look how much farmland's out here. It's like
a ton, yeah.
a lot of farm space out here, which is kind of cool.
Yeah,
You don't
that
think
whole
Oceanside,
section between Bonsall, Oceanside, Fallbrook is a lot of the agriculture in North County.
Yep, a lot of that right there. There's also up in North County, San Diego, there is a little area in San Marcos. You can see this big dirt pile here. This is the Hill District, which they're building out right now. And we were just filming over here the other day too. And a lot of this is built out. They're selling these right now. Mission Circle right here was just like 2 or 3 years ago. You're seeing some resale in there, but this is like going to be the new downtown of San Marcos, where right over here down San Marcos Boulevard, there was Restaurant Row right in this little section. This is all bulldozed now. They're building a new townhome community right here as well. But that used to be like restaurants and kind of going out and, you know, that kind of thing. Now I think it's going to shift over to this area of San Marcos where you have North City. It's all around Cal State San Marcos, which is the college right over here. But there's just, even in this rendering, there's more building going on and more. I think that's just going to go across Twin Oaks right here. They're going to put a lot more commercial in there. There's going to be the new downtown hub of San Marcos. So it will be interesting to see how that goes because it's a lot of traffic already right there. But I think it'll be nice. And then we already mentioned Harmony Grove. That's coming in there. What other ones did we mention, Cassidy?
There's one off the 15, and I can never remember the name of it, by that blue dot right there.
Costco? Or down further south?
No, yeah, down by Costco.
Up here?
Should be bulldozed, yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
What's the name of it? Let's jump in and see. Is this the old golf course?
Yeah.
This was the old golf course off the 15, right? Okay.
Yeah. I think the golf course is still there in the picture.
Yeah, still there. Oh, there we go. Yeah. So a new community here. Yeah, it's all there. There was another one up in Oceanside, or sorry, Escondido too. Yep. That was an old golf course. Luckily, this one luckily, but there's no there's some homes up here and stuff, but the Escondido one, there's like older homes here, and then you have the golf course right here. It's like, or the new home. So that's kind of funky. And then you have 3 routes down in the south. There's big projects in the works too. The Midway Rising in downtown or near downtown. So we would mention those, but those are years and years off. So this whole Point Loma district, where to go? This whole area down here by Sports Arena. This is going to be a huge development in the coming years. It's going to be housing. They're getting a new arena here. It's going to bring a ton of business, a ton of housing, a ton of, construction. I think it's like a 10-year project or something like that. Yeah. And obviously they haven't started. They have to go through, getting anything built, especially a huge project this close to the coast, it's going to take a while, but they have started getting approvals. They're working on like height restriction approvals, all that kind of stuff. So that's one of the other really big communities that is in the works right now. And then the airport where'd Seaport Village go? A little bit further here. Seaport Village is another huge project that they are working on. Whoops, right over here. And it's going to be a long time in the works, but this whole area is going to be revamped as well. So a huge new, I think it was like a $3.5 billion project or something is coming right here. But once again, many, many years off. The airport just got a new, they just redid Terminal 1. So we haven't checked it out. Cassie might check it out this weekend, but
we'll see on Monday. Yeah. I don't know.
We're going to see.
I don't know which terminal I'm flying out of, but we'll see.
Yeah. But there was, for, if anybody's flown out of here, it's just like a tiny airport. If you guys have flown out of anywhere else, like we fly sometimes to other airports, I'm like, oh my gosh, we have such a small airport, one runway. You don't taxi, like you just go up here, boom, you start flying. Other ones you're crossing, taxiing, it just takes forever. So I kind of like the smallness of our airport, but Let me know if you guys have questions down below as well, or want me to jump into a specific city or area, and we could dive into that. But yeah, I think all in all, the market here in San Diego has definitely seen quite the shift, and we're probably going to see that continue into the new year. We're going to keep a close eye on what's going on and going into January, February, March. So if you're thinking about moving in 2026, now's a good time to hit us up. All the contact info is right down below in the description. But any parting words there, Cassidy?
I don't think I have anything specific. wasn't ready for my moment.
Predictions for 2026. What are we going to see?
More inventory? No,
that was your prediction.
Yeah, my prediction would be the same. I know it's been the same for a bunch of years. No, but I think that just like with every year since interest rates went up, it's hoping that the trend continues down for buyers and for sellers, which would, I think, just kind of make our market a little bit more normal, which it hasn't been in a while.
Yeah.
So that's at least a little bit of what I think is going to happen, and I guess hope is going to happen as well.
Yeah, I think we will likely see more inventory come on. There's just been a lot of people waiting on the sidelines, sellers, and so it's just kind of like now's the time. Like people moving out of state, people just those move up buyers, people who have been putting off potentially getting their next house for a long time because interest rates have been high. They didn't want to deal with the competition. Well, now the competition isn't there, but then also selling their house is going to take a little longer. So it's kind of like a trade-off. They don't have the competition, but they also, it's going to take a little bit longer, maybe not get as much as they were hoping for their house. But going into 2026, we'll keep you informed on what's going on right here. And like I said, go down our reload guide if you guys want to start that conversation. And if you have questions about San Diego, we're always here for you. We're the guys who answer the calls, texts, and emails. So we got your back when making the move here to San Diego. We'll catch y'all not next week, but we'll catch y'all next time. All right. See you guys.